It might sound like hyperbole, but one could make a legitimate case that the most important director in the history of film is Jean-Luc Godard. The man was dedicated his entire life to reinventing cinema, one film at a time. He is, after all, perhaps the only filmmaker of the modern era to take nothing for granted, least of all conventional wisdom about narrative construction, opting instead to break film down to its two indivisible components, image and sound, and exploring what meaning they possess individually and what significance they can attain depending on how they are combined. David Bordwell has referred to him as the youngest filmmaker at work today, a sentiment most of us who love his work would readily agree with. But those who hate him, boy, they really hate him. Made in USA is, in many ways, the kind of film that encourages Godard's detractors. It features an assortment of mechanical characters delivering a seemingly endless array of tiresome, reference-laden monologues at the audience and trading in pseudo-philosophical generalizations that are equal parts grandiose and banal. But that isn't to say it's uninteresting. Few Godard films are, after all. I wouldn't go nearly as far as Jonathan Rosenbaum when he calls it
provocative, first-rate film criticism, cunningly composed in the language of the medium, about violent Hollywood iconography of the 50s, in both the crime thriller and the animated cartoon.
But it's definitely a self-conscious collage of pop culture, American and American-style imagery, a hodgepodge of what Godard loves and hates about American media and what he feels it says about the country that created it. The color palette is deeply saturated, even by the standards of New Wave Godard, and much of the film is shot in planner, comic book-inspired compositions, some of which literalize the idea of mise-en-scène as a character. There's even this priceless shot, which looks like it could have been lifted directly from a Dick Tracy funny paper, and which works both as an act of directorial bravado and a commentary on itself. It's quite the playful film at times, the last one Godard would make for a while. The problem is that Godard has done all of this before. Here's Pierre Le Fou, for example. So it doesn't feel all that fresh, which makes all the monologuing and grandiose proclamations harder to take. And yet, there's this moment. Marianne Faithfull, cameoing as herself, spontaneously breaks out into an a cappella performance of As Tears Go By, and, for the briefest of moments, time itself stands still.
It is the evening of the day. I sit and watch the children play. Smiling faces I can see, but not for me.
Her subdued rendition, brimming with heartbreak, is so sincere that it drives the other patrons in the bar to introspection. These characters, formerly little more than stand-ins for abstract ideas or mouthpieces for Godard, suddenly become self-conscious. Their nervousness is palpable as they avoid each other's gaze, no doubt concerned that they may be intruding on such a vulnerable display, and preoccupied with the deeply personal thoughts and emotions that the experience has stirred. Whatever the film's flaws up until this point, or following it, for that scene at least, for that glorious scene, Godard attains the sublime.
I sit and watch as tears go by. It is the evening of the day. I sit and watch the children play, doing things I used to do. They think I knew. I sit and watch as tears go by.
Tenez, voici l'adresse que vous m'avez demandée.
Merci.